Okay, thank you all for coming. Before I start, I'm going to hand over to Neil, who's here on behalf of Gail, if you want to.
Yeah, just a few quick words really. Just popped out of exec just on behalf of Gail and the exec team, just to say sort of thank you for your hard work and commitment, and what we all have was much appreciated, and really best wishes really. So,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, all the best.
Okay, thank you. Oh, you want the phone? Can't get away from what I'm telling you. Right, so it's an honour to welcome you all to this special event. May I start by extending our warmest welcome to Clem and Sandra. Thank you for coming. Also want to thank you for taking the time out from your busy schedules and being part of this event, and for coming out and showing Clem your support and what it means to us. It is indeed a sad day for the ITC and for us, that and the trust really, that we are saying bye to a member of the family who has been instrumental for the ITC, the trust, and us as individuals and the wider NHS. So, I was seriously thinking about what I was going to say really about today, and I didn't know where to start from in terms of doing justice to Clem. So I thought, in doubt, start from the beginning. So there we go. So I've got 12 years of speech to go through, so make yourself comfortable. And I put on my bit laugh, so if I get a laugh, that's good. So keep to the script, everybody. Right, keep to the script. Okay. So July 2004, you came for an interview. And at the interview, he said, I said, why should I employ you? He said, I'm a committed individual. I said, okay. Problem solving skills I've got. I have the ability to learn new skills, and I'm disciplined, and I get results. And I know that because I went through all the interview things this morning to see why we appointed him in the first place. Okay, so it's not made up, it is true. And it basically came down to two individuals at the end of that day, and the choices was, there was a young whippersnapper chap, came out of uni, straight out of uni, had no real experience, but had the qualifications, probably could do the job, etc., etc. And someone, in my eyes, had an ethos for working together, knew what work was about, and knew how to conduct himself. So, do I go for somebody brand new, or do I go for somebody who's got very little experience in this field, but probably would be easy to work with, would have an ethos? So, the other thing he said to me, and I don't know if he remembers, give me a chance and I won't let you down. That's what he said to me, because I said to him, why should I pick you? Because I'm down to two, and he said, I won't let you down. And to be honest, and this is where you've got to applaud, he hasn't. So, in terms of the work ethos, right, in those days, the ITC was a few members, a very few members. In fact, I can count them. There was Richard, there was Yusuf, Mark Mastropietro, Suzanne, I don't know if she's here today, and Jerry, those that remember Jerry. Yeah, that was it. And we used to have things like Cake Fridays, which you must remember. Yeah, still remember. So we used to sit there on a Friday at 4 o'clock. I'm not saying I'm going to make you lot do this, okay? Have you any ideas?
Don't worry if you want ideas.
I can't afford cakes for 60 people every Friday. That's cool. So we did have Cake Fridays, but as you know, we're all healthy now, so don't touch any of this stuff. I'm taking it home with me, but there you go. So yeah, but it was a nice way at the end of a busy week to just sit with the team and let our steam out and just say what a wonderful week we had, and let's do it all again on Monday, which is what it was all about on a Friday, wasn't it? It was only a chocolate cake from Greg's, but it tasted brilliant. It was only one of those small cakes. Yeah, he did have a flake, and we used to fight about who gets a flake. But anyway, Then we had the faulty bolty nights, didn't we? This is where, for those that don't know what faulty bolty is, we went to a restaurant, if you could call it that. It was a student dive, and we used to go quite often after work, unfortunately. So wives, close your ears. But we used to go for work purposes, of course, every couple of weeks, really. And yeah, Richard couldn't handle some of the Vindaloo stuff, but anyway. Yeah, so we used to tell people that we were working and went out quite often to a student night, which was about £3, I think it was, for the Balti and a Nan. Yeah. So we spent a lot of time in there working out what we were going to build the ITC around, and hence we're here today. So I think it's only fair that I talk about GP computing and primary care and what Clem has done in terms of primary care. I know there's a lot of colleagues that are not here right now, and they've asked me to thank you for your contributions to primary care and apologise for not being here, but there's been quite a lot of people from primary care. So when we started primary care, GPs, well, they're still the same, I think. I don't think there's no GPs around here, but ideally they didn't want the internet. So we went in once, and one of the GPs says, "Why do I want the bloody internet? I'm not going to use the internet. Why do you?" So that's where we started from. Absolutely, going into these GP practices, they didn't really want us, and they didn't want the suppliers. Emis are here. Thank you very much, Emis. Because they were getting paid, and we were getting all the slack for it. But hey, I'm not bitter about that, Nathan, honestly.
You've got vision.
Yeah, vision as well. Because we used to go in there, and they said, "Well, we played the supplier. Why are you guys here?" And we said, "Well, we're part of the NHS. We come free, and actually we've got a wider vision that we want to send. So we want to think that you can use the internet, that you can do email, and you can do shopping, and you can do this." That you get. But we had to persuade them, so which we did. And Clem also took on some of the national roles, so the choose and book stuff, in terms of what patients actually use today. So he was actually instrumental in some of that, because you had the role as choose and book engineer at one point as well, which was basically what you see today as, when you go to the GP and you can choose which hospital you want to go to, or your prescriptions where you decide which pharmacists that you're going to go to. So he was instrumental in those early days when there was nothing out there. So this will mean something to certain people, but nothing to others. So he was instrumental in getting the N3 for every single GP practices. I guess he's nearly started the fibre, but probably not going to see that particular project.
I already did, but that was it.
That was it. So anyway, there was a GP system, so there was loads of fights between GPs and GP systems about who was going to. And at one point, we decided to do 12 GP practices under one tender contract. You didn't win that one, by the way. Nor did you. I chose somebody else, didn't I? I just remember that. The suppliers are okay because they know I always have a go at them, so they're not worrying about that. So we did a load of GP systems, and we tried to persuade GP to have a GP system, be it whatever. We gave them the internet. We did data migrations with them, and that was migrating from one system. So just think about the thousands of records going into another system, and we used to hold their hands while they did that. We used to do the training element of it as well. And then there was the personal stuff that Clem was responsible for. So he delivered over 1,000 machines across the whole of the GP spectrum at one point. And I got a call from what's the lock-up space called? What's it called? Access. One morning at 7 o'clock, and they said, "There's a guy here emptying your lock-up." "Oh, finance are here." Shh. You didn't know about the lock-up. Yeah. So I got a call, and I said, "Oh, what's the problem?" And because there's this guy called Clem Bromley. He's emptying your lock-up. Do you know who it is? And I said, "What time is it?" It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I said, "Oh, it's Clem." "All right, not a problem. Carry on." So yeah, I mean, there was always that thing about Clem, to be honest. It didn't matter what time or when it was, he was available and he was doing the work that was like that. And he didn't mind, and until this day, I still don't know how he managed it, but you know, was there at 7 in the morning, getting stuff ready, taking it out, and the commitment for just doing it. I never had to worry about some of that primary care computing. And it is a worry because, you know, the influences that primary care have on us as a trust are huge, and we need to keep these people happy. So whilst indirectly he was working with them all the time, and we had practice managers meetings and stuff, didn't we? We had a lot of onion bargees at that point as well, I remember. Right, so he's made a large contribution to primary care. And I know this because we bought the ITC vans 10 years ago, and I've been told they've done 20,000 miles around Coventry, and finally we're going to get a new set of vans. So I know that is an enormous amount of work. He didn't do all 20,000 miles himself, but he did go. For me, that's not what makes the man, really. For me, it's Clem and his personality, and the person he is. The person that needs to be admired, respected and appreciated. I'm sure his family and Sandra will agree that he's totally unselfish in the matters of personal friendship and loyalty. And I think that, to me, is one of Clem's biggest assets. So on a serious note, from a personal point of view, Clem has taught me a lot about personal characteristics. He's inspired me to be a better person. So I think that would be my legacy to him, that actually he's not just a colleague, but he's done something much more than that. He can do all the work for him, but it's the unselfishness that really matters. And I think one thing I am jealous about, though, is your own branded shirt. Yeah, he had a branded shirt that he came in to work with, and he had Clem written on it. And I said, "Where did you get that from?" And he said, "This is the new ITC." So I said to him, "Well, wonderful." At one point, we did discuss it and said, "We'll buy the lot, don't we?
Yeah.
From China or somewhere." But no. Anyway. So there's few more bits of personality that I just want to bring out, and I'm sorry if this is embarrassing you, but I just need to get over to people how much of a person this Clem is. And for me, when I heard the story about him building a home for a poor family, it pulled my heartstrings, to be perfectly honest. He actually built a home for somebody that he didn't need to buy for or build for. He got them wedded. He personally settled the family down. Now, that kind of compassion is rare. That kind of charity is rare. And that kind of thoughtfulness is rare. And I think it's worth celebrating. Yeah? I could go on for hours, and I know that we could have gone. That's just 1 year. No, that was that's probably coming up to it. I could go on for hours, but so I need to end by saying that in all the years that I've known him, he still calls me boss. Don't you? Despite telling him loads of times that I'm Shafiq. And just now, as he came up the stairs, he goes, "How are you, boss?" I said, "I've never been able to change him on that." So today, I'd like to honour him by giving him a little bit of a title myself, and which is the co-founder of the ITC. And whatever we achieve going forward, we know Clem has been a part of that. So I'd like to end with a personal thanks to him and Sandra. And he remains an inspiration for me and others on how to achieve things, not just around work, but in your personal life, and how to deal with people. And he will be deeply missed. So, yes. Thank you very much. Yeah. Do you want to? there's a couple of things before you go on to give you the opportunity of saying a few words.
I've got a few words.
Yeah. You missed your chance, mate.
Oh,
Come on in. I'll allow you to say a few words and then we'll... Yeah, you want to say your words? Yeah, well.
Right. Mine won't be as long as Shaf's. Obviously, I think he said most of the stuff that I wanted to say. As you know, Clem, he received the Chairman's Award this year, and you know, it's a big achievement for us and an ITC. So, yeah, myself and Shaf, we sat, you know, we sat down and we said, okay, what can we put in? You know, how can we nominate him for that? So this is just a bit of a snippet of what we actually put into the Chairman's Award, so you know how he achieved it. So Clem, he joined the IT department with very little knowledge of corporate IT just over 12 years ago.
Nothing.
With his determination and support from managers and colleagues, he started to make inroads very quickly and became a very effective team member, where you know you could rely on his person to get it done. So he was a man to get it done. He worked himself up from being a very novice IT engineer to a very competent IT engineer in a very short time. If someone had not known Clem, they would have thought he was in IT most of his career because of the knowledge he had gained so quickly. So Clem's been managing the GP IT engineers, providing a very effective and solid service to general practice for over 12 years, and is very well known in the GP land. So that's what he practices. He was a key member of the ITC. Clem managed GP IT service very effectively and efficiently, providing a service to 80 GP sites, or probably more, and over 1,400 users with just 2 IT engineers. And he is always making sure that the quality of service they receive from CWPT is second to none. He has done well over 100 general practice IT moves in his career in a short space of time. And he made sure that they went smoothly and the patient services were not affected. This would involve working late nights and long weekends with his team and being able to be available on site the following morning just in case there were issues or they needed resolving. There has been occasions where Clem had been called on his mobile phone while he was eating his tea, and then he rushed back. So that was the dedication that Clem gave to his job. To have managed someone who is proud of what he has done and has high levels of motivation and dedication, productivity and determination is beyond my imagination and beyond, I think, mine and Shaf's as well. I and CWPT were very fortunate for Clem working for us. As you're mostly aware, Clem had been challenged with some personal health issues, but this didn't affect him physically. He proved and affected, and he did not affect him delivering a good IT service. Even during these times though, he had been gone through his own troubles, he showed compassion and respect to others. Using his own experiences and the difficulties he'd gone through, he had used this to help others in his team and the department. He has never ever shown a lack of respect to his colleagues or his senior manager, even when the chips were down. So this is just a snippet of what we gave, and I just like to say, you know, personally, that I've not seen or I've not met during my life someone who's got honesty, integrity and immense kindness, and who's been kind to everyone regardless of what people have done. Who's been a rock to the GP team, never faltering and always showing the lead. He is deeply missed now. You know, he's been deep, you know, and more importantly, out there in the general practice where he worked to make a difference. I surely wish him well in the future, and I'm sure everyone here, and for those who have not also here, wish him the best. Clem, you're a 1 in a million, and thank you for your hard work and efforts. Also, a big thank you to Sen for giving you the freedom to carry out your job even when interfered at times with family life. Thank you very much, Clem. Okay, this one's from Ben. Obviously, Ben's not here. He's unfortunately he's on holiday. But here's a little note from Ben for you. Hi Clem, I'm sorry I couldn't be here for your retirement due. Unfortunately, I've had to take one for the team and visit Sandy Crest GP surgery in Barbados. Apparently, Aeros print problems or some such.
I'll get on a plane straight away.
Purely work related, if you all understand. Beverages are entirely medicinal too. I'll bring you a little something back. In the meantime, I just wanted to ensure you know how much I respect and admire you. You've always been a rock of a man, sure-footed, fair, upfront, hardworking and kind. But more than that, you became a friend and in many ways a father figure. I, for one, will miss you and keep in touch outside of work. You can't shake me that easy. Take care and all the best, Ben. No, of course.
So Clem, we've got a few gifts for you. This is from everybody at the RTC and the Trust. Thank you very much for that. And these is from your GP colleagues that they've also given you. I'll give you an opportunity to say a few words if you want.
What more can I say? I think Shaf and Yusuf have covered the majority of it. But the biggest thing is, I really do miss working with you guys. The honour has been all mine working with you. You're a professional team. The people have helped me when I needed it. Because I did blag my way into it.
I'll build you up!
At the time, I know David, who was my manager, didn't think I'd ever make the grade. But I remember saying to Shaf, give me a chance. And I never did let him down.
No.
And I've always backed him whatever he's done. And I just don't know what else to say. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Thank you.
Okay. So there's some niblets and things for people to network and so on. Please help yourself and have the opportunity of saying bye personally to Clem. I just want to say one final thank you from behalf of the Trust and from me and the team personally for all the work that you've done, and we wish you all the best in whatever takes a fancy going forward. All right. Thank you.